Okay, we're recording. Okay. That was good. Good job. Yes.
I remember.
You know.
I'm working on it.
You are
I'm
educated.
Getting on the production team here. Helping out.
Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of James and Will Have a Conversation about photography and other things that they pretend to know things about.
That's right.
Pretend.
Keyword. We pretend really hard.
We pretend really well. I think we're great pretenders.
Yeah, we do a pretty good job
sometimes. This is a lovely amount of mega
quad.
Google. I need to Google.
Bytes? No.
Okay, words is failing now.
Peta. Pixel meta? Metapixel? Pixel Quetta. APSD?
APSD. That's the Weather Channel.
What?
Okay, today we're going to have a conversation about a book. I told Will to bring a book today. Just bring a photo book, bring one of your favorites. And alas, he freaking walked in the door. Will is an overachiever. I like this guy. He walks in the door with 8 books. Just kidding. How much is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 books. Walks in the door. 5 books.
I have trouble making decisions. Sometimes I have trouble making decisions on focal lengths and on photo books.
Yeah. So we decided to pick the smallest one for some reason. I thought this would be a good one. This is I'm gonna pick up. See, I got a B camera here today. This is the Sartorialist. This is his latest book, and I don't know as much about the Sartorialist as you do. So you tell me about this book. What is the backstory of this book?
Okay, so Scott Schumann's the guy behind the Sartorialist, and he's a street style photographer, and he has kind of been the pioneer of the digital age of street style photography. Bill Cunningham was the godfather of street photography focused on fashion, but Scott's approach was a little bit different because he took a street portraiture approach rather than a street photography approach, and his work was solely put up on a digital site. So, it kind of was, he was kind of that shift. And the Sartorialist X, it's his 3rd book, and he's been doing the blog, I think, 10 years now.
Yeah. So,
hence the X, Roman numeral, right? Isn't that the Roman numeral?
Is that what that
10?
means? Yeah, that is the Roman numeral for 10.
Yeah.
It's like OS 10,
yes.
OS X.
So, this is definitely his most interesting book because he traveled a lot more to places we don't necessarily think of as fashion capitals of the world.
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of time in Peru, different places where cultures have a very distinct and long history of dressing in some way that's very aesthetically interesting or pleasing, but aren't necessarily, fashion capitals or things where people really are like trying to look this way.
Yeah.
So it's very organic. So that's some of his most interesting work in the book. And overall, it's just like visually just like a feast for the eyes.
Yeah. Okay. Just like you.
Yeah. Just like me.
All right. So I have only scanned through this book. I looked through a couple of photos, felt it out. I was going to actually just not even look at it. But I started looking through the books, and I was like, "Oh crap! I wasn't supposed to."
You can't handle it. It's too much.
And so we're gonna look through it now. We're just gonna go through it and share our thoughts. Just talk about what comes to mind, what feelings we have, why the photo works, and all these photos freaking work because it's the Sartorialist. He has nailed down his composition to such a science.
Yeah.
If you could take anything away from the Sartorialist, it's the science behind just the repetitiveness of his of how much he has refined his composition.
Yes.
Would you agree?
It's always it's very consistent, and I think he always uses long lenses too.
Yeah.
So he's shot with an 85 for probably 8 or 9 years.
Right.
So it's like it's been the same look for so long.
If he switched to like 35, he'd lose all his followers. He wouldn't know what
I
to do
wouldn't
with it.
understand. I don't think he would really understand how to shoot with it either, to be honest. Like, his work's so focused on that concept. And it influenced all my work to a large degree. Really.
All right,
let's get down to it.
Open the book.
All right.
And enter.
The book has been opened.
Okay.
Here's another. The Sartorialist.
Oh,
X.
minimalism. Apple. Okay.
All right. Oh, it's to his daughters. Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, that's great. That's his daughter. Just kidding. Okay. So the first thing I noticed that I was referring to a while ago as composition was how he leaves such little space between the head and the top of the frame. I think that's absolutely fascinating. And he like fills the frame up so much.
Yeah, and then with the compression of the longer focal length, like, there's just the subject.
There's such a removal.
Yes. There's just the subject is the focus, and in a lot of his work, the other elements are ignored. Except some of his really, really recent stuff has been a little bit more environmental.
Yeah.
I mean, still with a long lens, but...
Yeah.
But definitely the majority of his work definitely is focused on that. And I think a huge thing is expressions for him. And I mean, he's shooting a lot of people within the fashion community or things like that. But he does a really good job creating a mood and a feeling for a photo and trying to have something relatively... I don't know. It feels authentic.
Yeah.
I think there are authentic moments. I think he does a good job. However he interacts with his subjects, he does a very good job getting them to relax.
Yeah.
And I mean, like this guy, like there's an ease.
That walk cycle. Look at it. I call it a walk cycle. I come from like a design background with that term. I don't know. What would you call that? I call it a walk cycle.
That's fine. That's just perfect. And it's like
fine.
It's so perfect because
Whatever.
even like where his bag is, right? Like you need that leading step line.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just such a focus, and then of course visually, I mean, there's like this super tiny, gorgeous detail, which I mean, sometimes we do it on purpose, sometimes we don't. But there's this like reddish pink stripe.
Ooh, yes.
Which is like perfect with all of the tones he has going on here in the reds.
Leg expression.
And the other thing I think that's interesting with his books is there's very deliberate placement of subjects. So a lot of times there's either a really strong contrast or some sort of cohesion between the subjects he uses in two photographs. I mean, here it's like very much print stories. Visually there's just tons going on with what they're wearing. Even the backgrounds are relatively similar, kind of mundane, flat.
Your work is so similar in a lot of ways to his. Like, I swear you have this photo on your. I mean that in the most complimentary way possible.
I mean, he definitely was how I modeled my work at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think another thing is he's just so
he
good.
fills the frame so much right there. And
yes, and yet like not crowding it. That's such a hard line visually is to cut those detail shots. Like what do you leave in the frame and what you don't leave out of the frame.
That's hard to shoot.
That is really hard.
That's really hard to do.
I mean, that's like almost impossible.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, he's got some really good light too. Like there's some shadow play in between. If you think it's not
impossible, go try it and make it look.
And then
like
he paired it with like I just love his pairings in his books. That's why I always end up buying his books more than anything because all of his images are online. But it's just fascinating seeing the pieces he puts together.
Yeah.
In his work, and then I mean just.
And he incorporates the background in such an interesting way, like
he'll remove it if it doesn't add,
right,
and then if it adds,
right,
it's applied
absolutely.
so well.
That
like these colors, and then even just this gorgeous framing line. So we have this line here. We have this line here. Like he's framed within that. There's all of these bikes. There's such an interesting and like disparate concept between a guy wearing a suit sitting in a bed like a bunch of mopeds. It's just almost like fantastical, like more like an editorial shoot. And I think that's where my work comes from, is like a very polished finished product that looks a little editorial and yet it's just something pulled from the street.
He rides the line between kind of a really polished portrait and editorial.
Yes.
In the way that he should.
With
this one,
I think he does a good job. He doesn't like touch people up too much.
Yeah.
that's the big line that I really appreciate
you
too.
can't just touch people on the street, you know.
Yeah,
you gotta he
does a good job
just
not.
you gotta talk with them, have a conversation. Some people you gotta take to dinner, and then you can touch them. But anyway.
So I mean, like,
lovely expression.
Just really, yeah, and even here, I mean, the hand gestures. There's this line here. There's this goes here, then it goes to his face. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. Golden spiral! Oh my gosh. So I mean, it's those subtle things that you think aren't hard until you shoot street portraits.
Right.
I mean, like this thing, this shot, the light's just blasting out everything. There's like, I mean, it feels so editorial to me.
Right.
I mean, except the interesting thing, right, is like for an editorial shoot, all these cars wouldn't have been here. Yeah. So there's like a lot of times there's these elements that just have to be there because you can't control that. But it's like, it's just glowing.
Yeah.
It's just, my gosh.
The colors look very filmic for one, but the expression is very poetic, but at the same time, it's very natural. Sometimes people go very, very poetic, and you end up with the weird like hair and
I think that's where a lot of people, once they get used to like kind of guiding their subjects a little bit,
like this.
Yeah, just like.
And you're like, that's like girl just going through her day, but this is the expression. She's like at a coffee shop doing that, and you're like, you would never do that. You would that would never happen.
Well, it's even like this hand gesture. Like it just looks like something like pulling the hand up to the face like that.
She's kind
like
of thinking,
it's just and that's one of the most challenging things. And I love this pairing. And I mean, I think that's what makes this work.
I feel this video is gonna end up being 45 minutes long.
We'll skip through
because we're just going through the pages. Or we're just talking about it.
But I mean, like. These pairings, I mean, I think a lot of it too is in the fashion work is finding things in the everyday, like these school children's uniforms. And I don't know what country. I'm not even going to guess because I don't want to offend anyone.
Right.
So I have no idea. But like it's this.
What's going on? Hold on. We're going to zoom in on maybe the camera will tell us. I know what I'm doing. I know how to use a camera. I can't see it on there. Some sort of. I think the belt buckle would reveal it, but you have to get really close.
Oh man, you'd have to get really close.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even like this blue wall, right? Like this color palette here is perfect with what they're wearing.
Right.
I mean, there's a very much just such good intentionality, and then I think he does a good job with some of the more distracting lights. So we're gonna kind of skip along, James. If you see anything that just like
you say light. It's interesting. Some of this stuff feels very noonish, but he makes it really, really work in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a challenging line, and then this, oh my gosh,
that's easy. How do you if you have lighting like that and that kind of character and that kind of background?
So that's just that's just like these are the type of photos that everyone goes, oh my god, you did such a good job, but you didn't actually have to do anything. Yeah, and then the photos that people are like, oh, that's pretty good. Like that you work super hard for are much more challenging.
Wow. Well, you think I could pull that off?
Yeah.
You think I could do that?
You could definitely do that,
I think
James.
I could get that.
But yeah, I mean, he does such a good job pulling you into what he's visually interested in. And I think that's really important. And I think we can forget about it sometimes when we're shooting. Like, we just shoot a full body or we shoot something that's like, really what drew us was, X photo, like this detail, then like just make sure you at least get a photo of that. I mean, maybe the full body's better, but make sure you grab, I think, what draws you to the person in a photograph.
You'll always find a better photo the deeper you dig.
This one just blows me away, and the light in this one, I don't know, is very interesting. Because I mean, it's pretty high. I mean, because you can see the shadow coming under the eye. Yeah. And like the hat's pulling a good bit. It's just gorgeous.
And look at the way he framed that. Look at what he did. Like he got. I don't even know how you pull off a shot like that in terms of framing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting. I mean, he chopped the shoulder here. Mm-hmm. The hat's chopped. He did a good job pulling this tree line in to not intersect, but like
his angle.
Yes, that's it's just, and he's a little low, and it just like this guy feels statuesque.
Yeah,
and I think that's another thing is like, how do you want your subject represented visually? Like, do you if you get above them, they're gonna look smaller, more mouse-ish, whatever you want. If you get low, they're going to just become bigger, more statuesque figures.
All right, let's move. Let's
Let's go.
Right in the middle.
All right.
Look at a couple more. We'll wrap this baby up. This has been good. Okay.
Okay, let's. This one. Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
So this is just.
How do you? I mean, do you think he planned that? Because she's got the freaking.
I don't know. I think she's like using her iPhone screen camera, like front camera, to do her lips.
Do her lips. Okay.
But it's just like the hand.
I thought she was on Facebook holding the thing.
I don't know, because I mean it's her lipstick. I mean I don't know.
That makes sense.
That's the other thing with his images is they're so well done and feel so natural, but they're so well done. Sometimes you're like, did that happen, or did he direct it a little bit? I mean, I direct my subjects a little bit, but he does such a good job feeling like it's a stolen moment in a sense, while still feeling very cinematic and almost editorial, which is just
makes me want to go to
just so good.
Cuba.
Oh my gosh!
All
right,
that would be,
let's finish up with.
Would you guess Cuba on that last one?
Peru, Cuba,
maybe.
I think he's in India.
India?
Still. Yeah, I think he's still in India. She has the skin tone. I know, but
India.
I'm pretty sure it's India just because I remember this post from a million years ago. And he had how at the top he puts the names.
Yes.
That's the only reason I know. He did some really interesting work in India that I didn't think was India from a dress standpoint. It was kind of really interesting. And then his work in Peru was really interesting.
Wow.
Just the colors, the people, and especially in the fashion realm, there's a fear, I think, from a lot of fashion people, not to be interested in people that don't fit that aesthetic. I mean, the expression he gets, the backgrounds. I mean, it's just,
love it.
The color palettes are just absolutely fantastic. And
Yeah.
he does this series, all of these older women that wear the traditional clothes mixed with it's just so interesting.
Wow.
Visually, and it provides a very interesting narrative. So his
that
works
man owns a drug cartel. You just know it.
It works really. He does a really good job. So I mean, this is with some pretty harsh light there.
Yeah.
That's some.
Okay.
All right.
So we could go through
every single picture.
We could
pretty
go.
much.
That's so pretty.
This
okay,
one,
we need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we can't.
All right.
Okay. So
we almost made it halfway.
Check out the book.
Oh my gosh.
What was his name?
The Sartorialist.
Yeah,
Scott Schumann.
Scott, give us money because we're advertising your book, first of all. Second of all, just go check it out. Go online, look at his photos. Oh, jeez. I can't even handle that. That's so good, though.
Okay, maybe next time we're gonna mark some pages. We're gonna mark some pages for y'all.
Because we could have just went on.
Because we could have just went through that whole book.
We could have went.
It could have been 8 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that brought you value today. If we can scratch your itch better, talk about some aspect of what you saw in the book, whatever, better. I'm really happy that we got to look through your book today, Will.
Thank you.
You took some amazing photos.
Yes.
You really
Homemade.
did. You did a great job.
Yeah, that's my alias. Don't tell anyone.
All right. On that note, we will. Okay, so we had an error. You know how there's time limit on the thing. We ran out of time. Will has proceeded, and I had to go take the thing, put it over there, and be like, we had 8 seconds left.
And we nailed it.
We nailed the ending.
And then
it cut off
over.
8 seconds too early.
It's not our fault. It was awesome. Just imagine how great it was. Imagine me saying something really funny. James was laughing hysterically. He almost died. I had to resuscitate him with a judo chop.
To do some yard sales and invest in a what's it called? Atomos? I forget. It's a recorder. It's a thing you put on your that records to an external hard drive, so we don't have a time limit.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So yard sales.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that. Then we're gonna make videos about yards. Okay, we're done. Bye, guys. Have a good day. Go take lovely photos. Hopefully this inspires you.
Go take pictures. Don't snuff glue.
Be on!